lying down. You're going to do back bending, so you're going to bring your heels up to your hips. Try to keep your feet parallel. Hands on either side of your ears. Lifting up. Hold that for 5 breaths. Try to get your heels around shoulder width apart. Try to get your feet parallel. Breathing the whole time, and then lowering yourself back down. Taking a little bit of a rest. You're going to do it 3 times, so when you're ready, heels up to your hips, hands on either side of your ears, and back up in wheel pose. Breathing deeply, and then lowering yourself back down. Take a little bit of a rest. And then last one, bring your heels up to your hips. Hands on either side of your head. And try to walk your hands back closer. Arch your back as much as possible. And you're going to try to walk your hands back and shift your weight forward and come up into standing pose. Samasthiti. Alright, so you're going to try to do a drop back. What that means is your head goes back, your hips come forward, and you reach back with your hands and let your hands go down to the mat. And then coming up, Samasthiti again. Same process, looking back, straightening your arms, dropping back, rocking a little bit as you come up, getting your hips forward over your knees, that'll bring you forward. Last one. Looking back, arms go back to the floor, walking your hands in as close as you can to your ankles, and then when you got a second, try to get your hips over your knees and inhale coming up. Now, lie down on your mat. Take a rest. Once again, Chakrasana, backward jump back, upward dog, downward dog, and jumping through, coming forward into a forward bend. So try to get your back flat, bind your wrists around your feet, and breathe. Pretty essential to do a forward bend after a back bend. You really need that counter pose. To release the tension that comes about from those intense drop backs and back bends. All right, lying down. Take about 10 breaths. And feet touch the floor behind you. Chakrasana, jump back. Upward dog. Downward dog. And jumping through. Lying down on the mat, you're going to take your feet behind your head and go into a shoulder stand. So put your feet touching the floor behind you, put your palms on the small of your back. Get your feet up in the air, point your toes. Let's do this about 10 breaths, 25 breaths. Then piking your hips, put your feet down on the floor, the knuckles of your toes on the floor, and your arms extended straight onto the mat. Plow pose. And then let your knees bend so that your knees are on either side of your ears and touching the mat. Arms the same position as before. And then straight legs. Put yourself into lotus position. Put your palms on your knees and balance. And then bring your pike more at the hips and wrap your arms around your legs. When you're done, release that. Lower yourself down. Grab your hamstring muscles with your fingers and arch your back, pulling your feet into lotus position, throwing your head back, and then straightening your arms and legs, keeping that arch in your back, your top of your head on the floor. And then backward somersault, chakrasana, upward dog, downward dog. Okay, headstand now. Your arms make a triangle. You're holding the top of your head like a little yarmulke. Your hairline should touch the floor, and you should come up, point your toes at the ceiling, and your weight should be on your forearms, not on your head. You should have very strong triceps. You can do this about 25 breaths if possible. And then piking, try to control your coming down, make your legs parallel to the floor, pointing your toes. Straighten up again. This is why you need all your weight on your forearms. You're going to lift yourself off the ground, so lift your head off the ground, keeping all your weight on your forearms. And then come back, touch the crown of your head, come down into child's pose. Take a few breaths. Upward dog, and downward dog, jump through, right foot comes in lotus, left foot comes in lotus, binding from behind, crossing your arms behind your back and grabbing your big toes. And then chin up, inhale, exhale, come forward, chin touches the mat. Inhale, coming up again, release. Press your palms behind your hips, arch your back, and throw your head back, chin up in the air. 5 breaths. And then place the backs of your hands on top of your knees, back straight, chin in, lotus position. Take your time in the meditation. And then when you're ready, put your palms flat on the ground and lift yourself up. Breathing. You can do this in bellows breath or you can do this in long breaths. Lower yourself back down. Crossing your ankles, jump back. Upward dog. Downward dog. Jumping through and lying down, Shavasana. Might want to cover yourself up with a blanket. Cover your eyes. I'd say take about 5-10 minutes in Shavasana. It's important to allow your body to recuperate. And that's the primary series.